Hi, thanks for joining. I'm going to be talking about sexual harassment and how it affects your growth, and most importantly, what we can do together to solve that problem. Just like on TV, I'll have to warn you about the explicit content that I'm about to share. It will be offensive. Hopefully it will be. It's disturbing, but honestly it's nothing compared to the vulgar things we've reviewed as we prepared for this study. But again, to get started, my name, Shane Correa, joined Besato recently. Working in tech throughout Europe and the US for a good part of 20 years. Big companies like Oracle, small ones, small startups. But the entire time, it's been in companies or even in military, serving others. So I jumped at the chance to join Besato as the Chief Commercial Officer. And it's exciting to do good again, and even doing good is good for business. Is one of the things that we'll discuss. But related to sexual harassment, whether you're I'm a father of two, husband, if you're an uncle, aunt, it doesn't matter. You know someone that's been affected by online sexual harassment. And especially if you're in the online dating industry, as a business, it's absolutely been affected by sexual harassment, and I'll be going through some of the findings associated with this. We won't go into the vast human aspects, the human impacts, I should say, that this is related to, but more if you think about the way this has affected your growth, your customer acquisition, your retention. Those are the types of things that we'll spend time talking about. But who are we? Besato is the world's leading content moderation partner. We've been at it for 15 years, early on pioneering AI, human-driven moderation. So we started marketplaces 15 years ago here in Sweden, and helping similar companies just grow with trust is really what it's about. So started fighting fraud a long time ago, in 2004, even partnering with police. Grew in 2005 into Italy, Norway, and France. And then later on, as we had larger and larger manual teams or manual moderation teams, we developed our own tools to get increased automation and make our team more efficient. And in 2016, we launched Implio, which is a world-leading manual moderation platform, and also we merged with IOSquare, and that launched the capabilities within AI and increased automation tremendously. And now, from today, we're offering off-the-shelf components of AI included in the product. So we're excited to launch that, and we'll be talking more about it later. But it's really our commitment to making sexual harassment a no issue. So we'll start talking about how we intend to do that and how you can do that with us. What we start off with is acknowledging and going over some numbers, but again, high level, and acknowledging the problem that's facing us today. And as I did research on this, and the team here started uncovering some numbers, it's quite staggering. And again, unsolicited contacts from people that you just couldn't believe that they could talk to someone like this. And I'm a dad, a husband, but you don't need to be a father to recognize that this is just wrong. And Instagram has it says by Philippe or Philippe, and the number of followers just expand on a daily basis of how examples of how in this case men are treating women online. And we've heard of the Me Too campaign, and as in its height, it was somewhere around one mention a second. So the problem is not overrated. It's been there, unfortunately, for a while. It has horrific impacts on human lives, bullying children. We're not going to cover what happens to them and how this impacts their lives personally. I won't go into that, but more so as this is geared to the dating industry, going into how it impacts you and your business. And I'm going to go through some high-level numbers that for me are staggering once you see them black and white from Pew Research. 40% of users have been harassed of some kind. So it's not 5, not 10. An enormous amount of people experience this type of behavior, and they flag it. So they're realizing that this is wrong, and they're taking the opportunity to tell the partner, the private service provider, that it is offensive content. So it's not that they see it in there, they just kind of deal with it. They're taking action to highlight it, and they report the user. So this also means that they want to make a change. They're taking action on it. They're reporting the person. This, of course, means a larger impact on your customer service teams to handle these types of errands. And if you think about 70% of women find online harassment a major problem, should also, again, as a dating site, it's not an insignificant issue that we're dealing with. And finally, it's also unsolicited. So this is happening if you're online. You don't have to reach out and meet someone and end up getting it. This is happening as well on LinkedIn. It's just unsolicited, explicit images being sent without their consent. And the problem is just absolutely rampant. And finally, they give up. So they've experienced the problem, they've reported a problem, they've reported even the source of the problem, so who is initiating that, and eventually the service doesn't take action, the necessary action, and then end up losing a customer. And it just reminds me, different industry, but it reminds me of how if you compare these two, I guess mainly in the U.S., but United was a established airline in the U.S. and were not known for the best service. And you had smaller startups that focused on the customer experience. And I had a own personal the difference in here when you go on Fly Southwest is night and day. They were able to realize that there's an opportunity when you treat people with respect. Again, recent events with United just reinforced this. But regards to the dating industry is also Tinder's growth has been staggering. But the problem that we're talking about related to sexual harassment created an opportunity. Bumble wasn't around that long ago. They have 20 million users now, and much of it stemming from giving women control. And what's interesting is that Tinder, to meet this threat, just introduced that capability where women would be the ones swiping. And very specifically to this, if you think about the people that are paying, twice as many subscribers are paying than Tinder, and they were able to see an opportunity in that women felt vulnerable to these other dating sites. And you may have a great niche concept, but if they don't feel safe, they won't stay. And it's a perfect example of how this is, yes, it's a problem for our society, but it's also a problem for you and retaining customers. And it's something that should absolutely be taken seriously. And sometimes when you think about, okay, this is a huge problem, where do I start? And you can be just getting started, and you want to make sure that you establish trust from the beginning, or you could be a player that's been around and just trying to attack the problem. Where do I get started with any large problem? Because making it a non-issue is going to be where we all need to strive towards. And there's different ways to go about it. In the most basic sense, you're able to just fixate on or focus on the phrases that are it's again hard to harass someone sexually without using some sexual terms. So that's one way that you can approach it. And we have ways that you can do that with a basic filter, and there's also capability that we call text to vision, where we're enabling our AI capabilities, but in a off-the-shelf manner, because it's pretty common when you talk about some profanity. And your content goes through our system, and we highlight the again, horrendous. I do apologize, but this is nowhere near as bad as some of the things that that are actually there. But we have linguists, and we ensure that this information is then removed from your one-to-one messages or from the interactions or profiles on your site. And it could be just as simple or similarly with images. Instead of having explicit content being sent, again, unsolicited, you're able to utilize our image vision. So again, our AI that would then eliminate nudity. It could eliminate things, I don't know, think about like guns. It could be profanity as well. It's different things that you'd be looking to avoid. Maybe it's underage. We have ways that we're able to do that as well. So again, able to solve both in text and also in image, and make the environment one that your customers want to stay in. So those are the ones that are standard, sort of off the shelf with our product. And as an additional capability for those that are looking for something that is specific to your data set. And what we do is take so let's say you've been in this business for a while and you have some history. We take the decisions that your team has made, and we teach our system, we train it to make the same decisions. So if you have a good set of data where you're accurately finding and rejecting nudity, we're able to create a system that would do that automatically, so that you don't have to have time to pay people to do that manually. And we do this on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. After we've built it and deployed the model, we then analyze on a monthly basis what the decisions have been made, and we align it to reinforce the existing models that are in place. In that way, we're able to always ensure that the decisions being made are accurate. And it's a constant, again, it's on a monthly basis once the models are made, so we're able to balance both automation and get the most quality. And again, this has huge impacts because the decisions are coming much faster, they're highly accurate, and that means that your customer experience benefits from that. So again, we have both the basic filter that you can do on your own with our tool. We have text vision, which is components of our AI that you're able to deploy using regular expression in our tool. We also have image vision, off-the-shelf AI capabilities that you're able to deploy. And then finally, custom AI, which can be a combination of text, image. It could be things like profanity, underage, blasphemy, different things that you're trying to eliminate from your site. We're able to do if we have a data set to utilize. So different solutions that you're able to utilize, and together they do make an impact. So one example of a happy customer, been with us for since 2010. And had their own tools and started working with us and teamed up with our AI capabilities, and beginning went from no automation, 60, 70, in the end had staggering 90% automation at 99% accuracy. And this is utilizing our custom AI models. So it's a huge cost savings, 67%, and they just renewed for 3 years. So you are able to do this if you choose not to go with custom AI. Of course, there are other ways to address the problem. But what we're committed to, both we have customers that are doing it with us, but others that are struggling to get started. So reach out to us. We feel it's our social responsibility to make AI available to the masses, and that's why we are starting this instead of Me Too, but We Too, because we're in this together with you. We want to eradicate sexual harassment. We're proud to be in this fight with you. We think it's the right thing from the right thing to do, but also the right thing for your business. So thanks a ton for your time. Reach out with any questions, and we look forward to hearing from you.